Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama
Kṛṣṇa ki jai.
Shri Shri Gauritai ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai. Oh, glorious Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Madanga ki jai. Oh, glorious Sri Samudra. Oh, glorious Shri Guru Ram, oh, glorious Shri Prabhupada. Namaham Vishaya Bhaktivedanta Swami. Namaste Saraswate Devi. Gauravani Visharine. Namaste Shishana. Asticharya Shatari. Hare Krishna.
Hare
All the way up from Washington. Did you jump? One go? Did you make one leap?
It took 4 hours, Maharaj.
That was a long leap. You jumped the wrong way, did you? Hanuman should get here in a moment. One leap. Hare Krishna could carry the whole Washington on his shoulders. My goodness, what's happening here? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Grow the flowers in your garden. Not many flowers in the garden right now.
Yes,
Hare Krishna. So, you're welcome to come in or whatever you wish to do. Are you coming in down there or going out? You're going.
Separate party.
Huh?
They have a separate party.
You have another party, is it? Another program? Where's your program? Oh, I can't see. Where's your program?
I have to go to a friend's place.
Huh? We're not friends here, huh? You're looking for friends. What a shame, we'll miss you. What to do? I'm sure there's lots of programs going on at the same time right now. All over the world people are watching different programs. Isn't it? Everyone's looking for programs. Anyway, make your program Krishna conscious. Good. Oh, thank you. Are you staying or going? You're staying.
I'm staying so far, I'm just leaving now.
You're kind of staying. Is that your son going with you?
No, he's here with you.
Is he staying? Is he? I'm not sure if he wants to stay or not. He wants to stay? Where's your son? Where is he? Pardon? There he is, Haribol.
Let's see, Maharaj.
Oh, you're staying with us?
I can for a little bit, but I actually have to get going.
You have to go and see a friend, huh?
Sorry, Maharaj.
You're a very wonderful Madanga player.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyway, as you wish. We're all staying for a little while, and we're all going after a little while. It's life, isn't it? We're here for a few moments, and on we go in the cycle of birth and death. We make a massive, well, kind of in our own little tiny worlds, we make a big show of it, and then we're gone. A few years later, it's all over. Oh, well, we're stuck in this circumstance, we make such a big issue. Everyone in the universe should know about our woes, about our problems. Well, we have our own little universe, you could say, our own little worlds. Microcosmic universes. We've got to enter into we make our microcosmic universe Krishna conscious also. We have to enter into the eternal universe of Krishna. Unlimited universe. And then our little tiny worlds seem very insignificant. Huh? Not all the big problem. Prabhu, I've got such a big problem. Such a big problem. Such a big problem. And whatever it is, we make something seems big to us because we're small. Because we're so small, even small things seem big. Huh? Imagine, put yourself in the position now of a tiny little ant in this room. A little tiny crawly ant. I don't know if there are any. But imagine there's your little ant crawling in this room. How small we are. We may not be able to conceive that the human body is actually a living entity with a big body. It may not be within our scope of capacity. But certainly the human body will look enormous. It will look like some Mount Meru to an ant. Miles high. Huge, touching the sky. What a massive mountain that is. But to us it's just a little body. Human body. It's very relative. And the ant are less what our problems are. It means nothing to the ant. And we don't care much what the problem of the ants are. Sometimes a little bit, but not much. Some compassion is there. Most species of life are devoid of compassion outside of their own immediate circle, which may be only themselves in some cases. At most it's their own little tiny family, or sometimes their own species, but not beyond that, for sure. Very rare. Once in a while you find there's extremely rare dolphins or some creature that somehow or another has an inbuilt feeling of compassion to other living entities, some kinds of other living entities. But generally speaking, we're all living in our own little universes, and we're faced with big problems, so-called. A big universe around us which is overwhelming, and a society which is overwhelming, and challenges which are sometimes overwhelming both within and without, because we're very small, sometimes easily influenced, easily overwhelmed. When a person is very weak, they are easily overwhelmed. When they're weak, we're easily overwhelmed by diseases. When our immune system is strong, it's easier to counter various kinds, even cancer, other things. When our immune system is stronger, it's easier to avoid these challenges, these problems. And there's many types of material life. Disease is one of them, or problems from the body, and so on. Environmental situations may also irritate and cause mental instability. May also cause physical. We're faced with a situation which appears to be insurmountable practically. And it is, virtually speaking, insurmountable for the conditioned soul, because everyone is defeated. Everyone is ultimately defeated in this material world. Fight and try and struggle as much as we can, we are ultimately defeated by the material energy. No matter how powerful we are, be it a Mr. Hiranyakashipu or a Mrs. Hiranyakashipu, it doesn't matter who we are, we're all defeated. Or a Messrs. Hiranyakashipu, if we're not happy with those two. Defeat is inevitable in this world. Nobody can avoid it. The nature of the material energy. But the process of overcoming this defeat is we take shelter of the strong. Even in the material world, our fears are allayed to some extent when we take shelter of the strong. Why men go to what's his name? I don't know what it's called in this part of the world. Jackie Mills. They pick up these heavy things and make their big muscles grow, and pushing and shoving and throwing things around to try to become big and strong, as if we can, conquer over the material energy. We won't be whatever. We know we will be defeated no matter how strong we are. It doesn't help us in the long run. But we take shelter of the strong. The child feels protected when the father is present, although the father only has limited capacity to protect, but the child feels protected. And we have our police force, they'll protect me. And we have our army, they'll protect us. We have our government, they'll look after us. And like that we take shelter. Some people have some sentiment about taking shelter of God. But generally we take shelter of the strong whenever we can. Maybe a woman takes shelter of a man, like that. Sometimes we have a big dog that we think will protect me if there's danger. Maybe in this country you have weapons. I think they'll protect me if there's danger. We take shelter of various things. We're all looking for shelter. We have a house. If the house wasn't here now, you wouldn't be here either. It'd be too cold. You'd all be looking somewhere else for heat and warmth. We're taking shelter of warmth. We're taking shelter of so many things in our lives. For the living entity, we need shelter. We're taking shelter of this human form of life. We take shelter of doctors because we need shelter. The living entity needs shelter. We are ashraya. We're not vishaya, we're ashraya. We're looking for shelter. Vishaya is the shelter, Kṛṣṇa is the real shelter. And because the material energy is an expansion of his own expansion, we say his energy, but it's an expansion of Kṛṣṇa, we can get some shelter. The nature of the material energy is temporary, so when you get temporary shelter. And it's also many other factors involved, it's only limited also. But we have to take shelter of something. We may take shelter of our own mind, we may take shelter of whatever. But shelter is required for the living entity. Everyone needs shelter of some kind or another. So the shelter of this world is fallible. We're looking for the permanent shelter. So that is the... otherwise we are subjected samastata ye padapalava pravam mahatpadam punya yasho marare. Bhavambhariya vatsa param param padam param param yad vibadam natesham. Everyone must take shelter of something, otherwise we become victimized in this dangerous world. At every step there is danger. We can't avoid it. We don't know what's going to happen next. Anything can happen. We kind of have this idea that it's not going to happen, but we know sometime or other it's going to happen, whether it's something, accident, sickness, death, whatever. It's inevitable. Loss is the inevitable factor of the material world. Loss and gain. As soon as you got something, you're going to lose it. Well, you may not sure about getting it, but if you get it, you can be sure you're going to lose it. You can't keep it for permanent. Nothing kept permanently in this world. So we should, that type of shelter, taking shelter of something which we're going to lose, is not very intelligent. I don't suppose any of you gamble. Do you gamble? Do any of you gentlemen do horse gambling? Maybe you did it in the past, I don't know. Ladies don't usually gamble so much, do they? It's not a common thing amongst ladies, it's more of a men's thing. But if you know that the horses, you're going to put money on the horses. They do horse gambling? They do, horse racing. Popular in England. And there's a horse, it's got no legs. Oh, it's got 4 broken legs, it's 70 years old. Can hardly breathe. And it can't hardly walk, it's got 4 broken legs. Are you going to put your money on it, on the horse race? 1,000,000 to 1 against. Come on, there's a chance it might win. Put your money on. Well, the chances are of it winning. The other horses drop dead and it's the only one that's still alive. So there is a chance. There is a chance that may happen, but it's very remote. More likely that horse will drop dead than the other ones. But there's a chance. Go for it. Go on. Imagine if you win, you're going to get $1 million for $1. That's a pretty good deal. But nobody in their rightful mind is going to put their money on such a horse. But we do. We put our money on this horse, on the horses around us. We're all destined to die. They're half dead already, and they're going to fully die soon. Your insurance policy, is that going to protect us at death? A life insurance policy. Does it guarantee you don't die? Huh? Probably helps you to die earlier. You have to spend all your money on it. Doesn't save us from death, does it? Protect yourself. They usually say family, but makes you feel more comfortable, I suppose. Protect yourself from death. There's no protection in this world from death. No one can do that. no matter how much we try. Sounds a bit morbid. There's a reality. There's many stories of a similar nature, which sometimes our acharyas tell. There was one man, he was an expert sculptor. Is the word sculptor? You know what sculptor means? Making kind of like models of... this guy was a stone sculptor. He would make him out of something else. But he was very expert. And you could hardly tell. If you ever, do you have Madame Tussauds in this country?
Yes.
They have it in New York? Yeah.
Near Times Square.
Pardon?
Just near to Times Square.
Near Times Square? Well, yeah, I remember when we went to London. They're so good. I mean, they're very well modelled. You can't even tell it's not, whoever it is supposed to be, Donald Trump or whatever his name is. Donald or Ronald? Donald. Donald Trump. Have they got him in there already?
Yeah.
Huh?
They have.
They've got him in there?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can hardly tell it's not him. Except for he's quiet in Madame Tussauds, he's quiet. They're very expert. And this man was expert like that. So he thought, oh my God. He knew Yamaraj, all these different things. Yamadutas will be coming. So he was getting old and he was kind of getting worse. So he made about dozens and dozens of identical forms to himself. And then, when he heard that Yamadutas were coming, so he stood amongst all these identical forms. The Yamadutas, it's like the police, they come with an identity card with your picture on it and things, so they can tell who you are. So the Yamadutas come with this picture of who they've come to claim, And they arrived on the spot, and they thought, oh my, what's going on here? Which one is he? They all looked the same. They couldn't work out which was the real one. He was pretty good. And so one of the Yamadutas was very clever. He said, oh no, whoever made all these sculptures is useless sculptor. He's useless. Immediately the real person spoke up. He said, what do you mean I'm useless? These are really good. Ah, gotcha. And away they went with him. He's very clever. Can't escape it when time comes. We can't escape. That man in Kabul, and his master, he was a servant. His master was quite well to do, and he used to send the servant out shopping to the market and this and that. So one day he sent his servant to the market, and the servant had a shock of his life. He saw in the marketplace death personified. He was scared stiff. He ran back to his master's home and said, "So I can't stay here any longer. I'm scared stiff. I need your help. Please, please be kind. Give me your fastest horse. I want to ride away from here to, Kandahar or somewhere. Immediately. Please give me a horse. Fastest horse." The rich man said, "Are you crazy? What are you talking about? Death personified. What are you talking about? There's no death personified lurking in the market." And he insisted. He said, "All right. Take the fastest horse and go to Kandahar. Off you go." So he rode away on the horse. Meanwhile, the master went down to the marketplace to see if there really was death personified there. He looked around, he couldn't see anything. But eventually he looked in the corner, and there, my God, he saw there was death personified. "Boy, you look like death personified." "I am." "What are you doing here?" He said, "I'm waiting for you." He said, "But not for you, really." He said, "Anyway," he said, "Well, tell me one thing, death personified. Why did you scare my servant so much this morning? He came running home scared out of his wits." Death personified said, "Well, because I was very surprised to see him in Kabul." "Why are you surprised?" he said. "Because in a few minutes I have an appointment with him in Kandahar." You can't escape. We may think we can escape, but there's no way out. When the time comes, it comes. So it's wonderful, really, because we can prepare. It gives us reminder that now is a wonderful chance, just like Parikshit Maharaj. that whole pastime of Parikshit Maharaj behaved in a very strange way. Huh? Here's a pure devotee, completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness in one sense. And he does such a strange thing. Huh? Suddenly he's thirsty. Okay, maybe, understood it. Quench my thirst. And then he goes into the cave. And he sees a sage there who's in meditation. And he expects his thirst. The sage is in meditation, not even aware that Parikshit Maharaj has entered. Parikshit Maharaj becomes offended because he doesn't get attention. That doesn't sound like the mood of a pure devotee. And even an ordinary person may not react like that. But he reacted very strangely. He got offended, he picked up a dead snake with his bow, and he placed it around the neck of the sage, like a garland almost. Pretty offensive, and pretty materialistic. He offended me. And of course, you know that he felt repentant afterwards, but it's kind of strange. All this is orchestrated by the Lord to, let's say, apart many aspects towards it, so that the sage's son Sringi becomes very disturbed, very angry, and curses the king, and thus allows Kali Yuga to begin. And that's the beginning of Kali Yuga. Kali was already there, but during Parikshit's reign, Kali couldn't have any influence. But when Sringi came on the scene and misbehaved as a Brahmin's son and misused his power, then Kali was able to enter in from there on, particularly. And but that wasn't the main thing. That was one thing. The other thing is the speaking of Srimad Bhāgavatam, because, of course, as you may know, Sringi cursed Parikshit Maharaj to die within 7 days by snake bite of a snake bird. And so consequently the Srimad Bhāgavatam. But the main thing Parikshit Maharaj was teaching us, what we should do at the time of death. We all should think about what we're going to prepare ourselves. You know, of course we go to bed at night, we don't necessarily prepare ourselves, but some devotees do. They prepare themselves for going to sleep, worrying that, you know, maybe I'll forget Krishna, or get into Maya, or whatever it may be in our dreams. So we read the Krishna book, or we have some Krishna conscious hearing before we go to bed. Try to remember Krishna, say some prayers, whatever. Preparing ourselves for bed. When we wake up in the morning, we prepare ourselves, having morning program, chanting Hare Krishna, monk tea, reading Bhāgavatam, whatever we do. Prepare ourselves so that during the day when we work, study, whatever we do, we won't be so overwhelmed by the illusory energies. Whatever we do, if we go into a difficult situation, please pray for so-and-so who's going in for an operation on something or another. We start to prepare for that. They prepare, we prepare, everyone tries to help. So similarly, at the time of leaving our body, we should be ready for it. A few days ago, we were in Vrindavan. Sriti Kirti Prabhu was saying, somebody asked him the question, did Srila Prabhupada ever prepare for class? And he said Prabhupada was always prepared. We may take 6 years preparing for one class or something and then still blow it. But Prabhupada was always prepared for class. And he said the followers should also be. That's one who's rich in Krishna consciousness. A man who's rich, vastly rich, doesn't have to worry about, say there's a bill coming. Oh, where am I going to get the money from? I better work harder. I've got to take a loan. I better, do something or another. One who's rich doesn't have to worry about that. They've automatically got the money to pay this bill, that bill, any bill. They're always ready. So similarly, one who's rich in Krishna consciousness doesn't need to prepare necessarily for this, that, the other. They're always prepared because they're with Krishna. That's the real preparation of human life, is to be with Krishna, to take shelter of Krishna. Otherwise there's danger at every step. Only those who've taken shelter, otherwise there's danger. At every step there's danger, unless we take shelter of the lotus-eyed Lord. So human life is really ideal opportunity to take shelter of Krishna. And not take shelter of all the fallible soldiers of this material world. We mentioned that last night. Atma sanyasa tatsapi Dehakala, Dehapatra Tradishu Atmasanyas, Satsapi. The living entities are taking shelter of fallible, fall able. The word fallible is very interesting. It means able to fall able, fallible. It means one is able to fall. So it's fallible. So we're taking shelter of fallible soldiers who cannot protect us, whether it's family members, whether it's the society, whether it's the army, the doctors, everyone. No one can protect us really in a real danger situation. Only Krishna. We take shelter of Krishna. And the best way to do that is through chanting. Constant chanting of the holy name, which is in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Maybe somebody can bring the first canto, part 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam. First canto, part 1.
This first one.
Someone can find it. Here we go. It's good to see you've got the Srimad Bhagavatam here.
Move the mic and
Can you squeeze through there?
you
I can but can't. There we go.
should be able.
There we go.
This is Mr. Ang.
Well done. First canto, part 1. This is a beautiful Bhagavatam. Did you find it?
Yeah, you found it.
Good. Bring it here. Thank you. Berlin. Wonderful book. Imagine going on the street, New Brunswick or Edison or Elizabeth or something, Newark, with this book and say, "Hey man, I've got something for you. Just for you. Take this. Put it in your pocket. Pocket handbook. Just what you've been looking for, man. All your problems solved, eh? Ooh, wee man. I need money, man. I need money. Whatever people want in this part of the world, but they don't realize that this will give them, satisfy all their needs. And so we see here, this is Prabhupada translated this when he was in Vrindavan, huh? 62, before that maybe. Questions by the sages, the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. How many of you have read Srimad Bhagavatam? How many? Through first canto to 12th canto. How many of you have read it? Hands up. First canto. Some of you don't even know what it is, maybe. Have anyone read it? All 12 cantos? Nobody? Has anyone got the 12 cantos? Who's got the whole Srimad Bhagavatam? Look at that. Most of you. Not all of you. But most of you have it. Well, this is the spirit, the personification, literary personification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, form of the deity of Krishna in your home, has come to give his association in a literary form. So take advantage and try to read, well, every day read some Bhagavatam. And this is, what does Krishna say? Krishna doesn't say. Krishna does say through Sutta Goswami. If we look at the 3rd chapter, in the 3rd chapter, where is that verse?
29.
Ah,
29. It's all about
here, 43. Text 43, what does he say?
kṛṣṇe sva-dhāmopagate.
There, just see, wonderful. kṛṣṇe sva-dhāmopagate, dharma-jñānādibhiḥ saha. Hello, naṣṭa-dṛśām.
purāṇārko dhunoditaḥ.
This Bhāgavata Purāṇa is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Kṛṣṇa to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purāṇa. And this is to guide us through this dangerous age of Kali. So, because in the 1st chapter, the sages asked a question, didn't they? Right. What did they ask? Beautiful.
Where did the religion take its shelter?
Yes.
This is the question.
Last verse. Since Sri Krishna, the Absolute Truth, and the Master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us to whom the religious principles have now gone for shelter. They want to know, where's the shelter? Where's that shelter? Well, the previous verse they said, the sages said to Sutta Goswami, we think we have met your goodness by the will of Providence, just so that we may accept you as captain of the ship for those who desire to cross the difficult ocean of Kali, which deteriorates all the good qualities of a human being. So they've established this human life is like a boat. And have any of you been on a big boat? A big one. I don't mean a little tiny wee boat. Where did you go on a big boat?
Washington.
Pardon? Washington? They have big boats in Washington?
It was on Lake Tahoe.
Not the lake, I don't mean a lake, I mean on the ocean, big ocean boat. How many of you been? You've been on a big ocean boat?
Is the one which goes from Staten Island to New York.
What is that? Chatham Island. Where's that? Is that somewhere in the Atlantic or something? It's a local boat in the river area, is it?
It's
No.
really huge.
Huh?
It's really huge, like a 3-story building or something.
Wow. It doesn't go very far, does it?
No, but it's like
No.
No, I mean like an ocean liner going across the Atlantic or the Pacific. You've been across the Atlantic in a boat?
Have any Caribbean cruise?
You went a Caribbean cruise. Was that, huh?
Carnival.
Where does that go?
Key West, Bahamas,
Bahamas,
the
huh?
whole Caribbean.
Around the Caribbean. Huh? Big boats, they're sometimes very big, like 12 stories like that. I don't know how they keep their balance. But anyway, when you go across, they don't necessarily, they're very careful. They don't go into the dangerous waters that you're not supposed to. But you can imagine if you're in a boat in the middle of the Atlantic and there's no captain. No captain of the ship. Or you're on an airplane flying across and suddenly announce it. Well, the captain has just bailed out. We are now flying without a captain. How will you feel?
Scared.
There's no pilot anymore, ladies and gentlemen, but there's a chance that we'll land safely. Close your eyes and pray. And you feel terrible, won't you? You're lost in the ocean in terrible storm, no captain. You know, we need a captain. So they ascertained you are a captain, but we don't know. Please tell us where have the religious principles gone? To whom have they gone? Well, Krishna himself came to establish religious principles, so where are they now? Early in this chapter, we see a nice verse. It's a very nice chapter, this first chapter. Apanaksang sating goram yannama vivishogrinam tataksadyo vimucheta yad bebeti svayambayam. Living beings who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death, can be freed immediately. How can they be freed? How can we be freed from the meshes of birth and death? Complicated. Karma is very complicated. How can we become freed? Huh? What do they say? What do the sages say? Pardon? What do you say? No, but in this verse, what does it say? One can be freed immediately by? Yes. Have you got it on your mobile there, have you? He's reading from his mobile. Look at that. Will your mobile save you at the time of death? Huh? Yamadutas come. Hold on just a minute. I just look at what am I supposed to do if the Yamadutas come. Hare Krishna! They won't come to you anyway. Don't worry. Living beings who are in of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy name of Kṛṣṇa, which is feared by fear personified. And of course, that's not so easy. I mean, time of death. If we practice now, we may chant at the time of death. It can happen to anyone, even if we don't practice. But generally speaking, it's not just like that. Oh, I will chant Hare Krishna at the time of death. It's not so easy. One was put into that situation, or finds oneself in that situation. We need to practice now, chanting the holy name of Kṛṣṇa, so that it becomes more and more accustomed to chant the holy name in all circumstances, taking shelter of Kṛṣṇa. It's not just when we hear danger, it's danger at every step. So even what we call safe conditions is also dangerous, because we're in the material world. We're in a danger zone. So we should always chant the holy name of Kṛṣṇa, because that's feared by fear personified. In the form fear personified takes, whether it's death personified or whatever form fear personified takes. When the holy name, we read in the 6th canto how Ajamil was delivered from the Yamadutas because he chanted the name Narayana. Because they're not supposed. Of course they were still there. It wasn't like they ran away. But the principle is there, that one will be protected if we chant the holy name of Kṛṣṇa. At least we'll be protected and guaranteed to continue with one's devotional service. And then we see in the second chapter, the sages very nicely explain, rather Sutta Goswami now, nicely explains in the second chapter, which is practically the most important chapter in the Bhagavatam in one sense, because it summarizes the entire process of becoming freed from entanglement in this world, overcoming death, etc. I'll just read a few verses, beautiful verses here. Therefore, Sutta Goswami says, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of the devotees. And constant, the word is mentioned here. We see this coming up a few times. This always chanting, always constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord. Nityada. Nityada is constantly chanting the name of, or worshipping Krishna, but being engaged in the service of Krishna constantly. That should be our practice if we want to overcome the dangers of the fears of this world. With sword in hand. Nowadays people they don't necessarily have a sword in their hands. They have something else maybe, but not a sword. But with sword in hand, it's not necessarily literal. This is figurative. With sword in hand, intelligent men cut through the binding knots of reactionary work, karma, by remembering the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not pay attention to his message? We're armed with, you have Shastra and Shastra. Shastra, the scripture, Shastra, weapons. Weapons. And that's a nice verse here. Yadanu jasnak karma grantam nibandhanam. Chintanti kubidas tasya kona kritakatāvatim. We cut Chintanti And it's not necessarily, not in the material world we may use a sword or something like that, but in spiritual terms it's taking shelter of the remembrance of the personality of Godhead. I mean, by remembering Kṛṣṇa, because Kṛṣṇa cuts the knot. It's not that he's going around everywhere with a pair of scissors or a knife or something, cutting knots everywhere. He'd be very busy, a full-time job, cutting knots, or tying them up in most cases. Knots. Tomorrow, I don't know, any of you are coming tomorrow? Anybody coming tomorrow? There's going to be a knot tying ceremony.
Yeah.
Some of you are coming. You know about that, Dina Bandhu?
I heard a thing or two.
You're welcome to come if you want. Where's the better half? Let's see your hands. He's shy. They're still covered? Good. Exciting. It's a samskara which is very important. And the most important in Kali Yuga, practically, vivaha samskara is very important. In Kali Yuga there's not really other samskaras, some spiritual ones, but most of the, let's say, society samskara is not so effective, but that's one is most important, particularly in Kali Yuga. The vivaha samskara is really important. People should take it seriously. That alone is a great credit for those who take that vows of married life seriously throughout their lives. Very great credit. So please take it seriously and get Krishna's mercy. So, but remembering the personality of God, therefore who will not pay attention to his messages? Though later on we see in the 10th canto that only those who are, butchers or killers of themselves, they're not interested in this subject. They're not, those who are killers of the self, they're not interested. Generally speaking, of course, sometimes we say butchers, and they're not necessary. To many people it's just another job. They don't even consider, there's so much in ignorance, they don't consider what they're doing. It's just another job. So in those cases they're kind of ignorant. But out and out butchers, those who are determined to cause harm to others, and those who are harming themselves, this message of Godhead is not very attractive, if at all. But otherwise we should try to pay attention to the message of God. In the Sutta Goswami is explaining, if you look in the 3rd chapter again, Krishna is the source of all incarnations, but in the last verse is a beautiful bit. It make no difference if I do, I think. O learned Brahmins, he says, when Sukadeva Goswami recited Bhāgavatam there in the presence of Maharaj Parikshit, I heard with rapt attention, and thus by his mercy I learned the Srimad Bhāgavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him and as I have realized it, just by hearing this Srimad Bhāgavatam, giving oral reception to the Bhāgavatam. All of those dirty things in the heart can be removed, cleared up. Everything becomes clear. One can certainly see, Prabhupada writes, one can certainly see directly the personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Kṛṣṇa, in the pages of Srimad Bhāgavatam, if one has heard it from a self-realized great soul like Sukadeva Goswami. One cannot, however, learn Bhāgavatam from a bogus, hired reciter to earn some money out of such recitation and employ the earning in sex indulgence. We have to adjust this. It's like having a gun in your face or something, like straight up the nose. Can we adjust it a little bit, you think? Move it around. That you can see the book as well. I was looking through my nose. I can't read through my nose. One cannot, however, learn Bhagavatam from a bogus hired reciter whose aim of life is to earn some money out of such recitation and employ the earning in sex indulgence, no matter what, some material thing. Oftentimes, people who speak it's a business, it's a job. They're not doing it out of love for Krishna. No one can learn Srimad Bhagavatam who is associated with persons engaged in sex life. That is the secret of learning Bhagavatam. Nor can one learn Bhagavatam from one who interprets the text by his mundane scholarship. One has to learn the Bhagavatam from the representative of Shukadeva Goswami and no one else. If one all wants to see Lord Kṛṣṇa in the pages, that is the process. Alternative. Sutta Goswami is a bona fide representative of Shukadeva Goswami because he wants to present the message which he received from the great learned Brahmin. Shukadeva Goswami presented Bhagavatam as he heard it from his great father. And so also Sutta Goswami is presenting Bhagavatam as he had heard it from Shukadeva Goswami. Simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention. The word nivishta means that Sutta Goswami drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears. You drink this subject matter through the ears. The ears, the oral reception, that's the most important faculty which we have for understanding our spiritual knowledge, God realization. The ears. The tongue speaks and eats and so on. The ears are the one that hears the message, and that's what's the most important faculty. The word nivishta means Sutta Goswami drank the juice of the Bhagavatam through his ears. That is the real process of receiving Bhagavatam. One should hear with rapt attention. The word rapt. You know this word? Rapt attention? What does rapt mean? It doesn't mean like putting paper around it. What does it mean? Rapt. R-A-P-T.
Full attention.
Full attention. Complete, no? Total absorption. You're rapt. Sometimes you use this word. You're rapt in the subject matter. You're very totally absorbed. You're oblivious almost to everything else. Your complete attention on that particular subject. So we should hear Bhagavatam with rapt attention. The effect of hearing is that Krishna gives us attention, process of surrender. So our surrender is to try to hear the holy name, to try to hear the Bhagavatam. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Kṛṣṇa in every page. Quite a simple process. It's complicated for us because our minds are full of other things. But if we can somehow, if we can hear with rapt attention, this is the secret. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure. And this is one of the, sometimes people ask why follow these regulated principles. Well, here's one of the reasons. No one can, something falling down there. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, and mating. You have to be pure in those activities too. Where we have the 4 regulated principles of freedom, religious principles. For this Kali Yuga, mode of goodness is rare, but it can be established by following these 4 principles of no meat eating, no gambling, sex, no intoxications. And that helps to fix one in goodness, which helps one to be more pure in action. That's pure in action, and then pure in mind also. But somehow or another, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Kṛṣṇa in person in the pages of Bhagavatam. So that's how we see Krishna's presence there. It's not just a matter of some physical vision. It's a realization. Krishna reveals himself. As he says in the Bhagavad Gita in the 9th chapter, pratyaksha bhagamam dharmyam. One realizes this truth with purified senses. Becomes clear. Krishna reveals himself as our senses become purified. This is Bhagavatam, hearing from the right source, as we hear from Sutta Goswami, the subject matter, as he heard it from Shukadeva, we heard it from Vyas, etc. And we hear the subject matter, then our hearts become the simple process of hearing, oral reception. I mentioned last night a wonderful addition to our methods of hearing the subject matter of Bhagavatam has been made available. Hari Charan Prabhu is going this week to India. Where is he? Is he here? Hari Charan? Has he gone? Gone to see a friend? Hari Charan Prabhu. Where is he? Here he is. Where you been? Pardon?
I was down, Maharaj.
You were down. You were down.
In the basement.
Tired. Not resting. You're listening from down below. So you're going to India, is that right? To Bombay, Mumbai? So are you willing to get some of these boxes? Somebody asked for one this morning, I can't remember who it was. Oh, that was Julian. Yeah. Yeah, so if anyone wants these wonderful Prabhupada, they're just little kind of, I don't know what you call them, radio I suppose, I don't know what you call it. It's a little thing, and you put this even smaller thing inside it, and then the biggest thing comes out. I don't know if it proves scientific theory of creation, I'm not sure. A little box, and you put a little thing, and a big thing comes out. And that big thing is Prabhupada's voice. Very nice, loud and clear. Really nice, loud and clear. And over 2,000 lectures of Prabhupada. And really wonderful. Because you can bootleg it, you can do all sorts of things, but I don't think you can bootleg it cheaper in America, even if you wanted to anyway, than the actual price. The machine will cost you more here probably anyway. They're a wonderful little machine. It looks like something from the 1950s, but it really works well. I don't know if it's made in China, but manufactured, like put together, sold at least in India, and it's wonderful. And you have this little thing in there that goes in it. It's got this wonderful book that goes along with it with all the lectures and the numbers, so you can press the number into the, and up comes that lecture, and they're all in systematic order. Bhagavad Gita 6.1, if you're lecturing on 6.1, you just press the number, whatever number it is, tick, 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 and that lectures of Prabhupada on that particular verse immediately come on. Wonderful. I recommend everyone to get one and play it as much as you can. And hear Prabhupada. Hear Bhagavatam from the right. This is the method to purify heart. So if you want one, and I'm sure you'll help Hari Charan with extra luggage allowance, if he needs to get extra, if like 5,000 devotees order one of these, you'll need extra luggage for sure. Probably need to stay more than a week to make them, but anyway, they're available there in Mumbai, so they're a wonderful thing. It's one of the most wonderful little things that's come along in this area. So, Subal Prabhu has one, and where's Dinabandhu? You've got one too. I don't know. Anyone else got one of them? I don't know. Have you got it here? You got it here? That little red thing? Huh? Pardon? You got one too? A little tiny red box. Small. Not very big. And where? There, here it is. Look, it's manifested. Whose is this? You brought it with you. Bring it here. Just bring it here. Come on, pass it over. This is it. This is the magic box. Well, look at that. It's very technologically highly advanced. You have to learn to press that switch there like that.
High five.
Nothing on
God
this,
cannot
wasn't
say
it?
somewhere that this is religion and this is not religion.
That's a quiet
God
lecture.
says, Bhagavan Kṛṣṇa says in the
Are
Bhagavad
you
Gita,
going through in order?
here it is said,
I can't change it.
there, do that.
That's a quiet one, very quiet. I think your battery is dead. Your battery is dead. You've got to recharge it, I think. Yeah, there's no charge on it, that's why. There's very little charge.
Sva-dhāmopagate, dharma-jñānādibhiḥ,
But I can honestly say this one's not as clear as most. The machine's great, but the particular lecture is not so clear. But some of them are really loud and clear. Very loud and clear. It's
Do
wonderful.
business.
And you just press the number 567, you get that lecture 789, 741, whatever it is. You've got to pause, fast back, fast forward. Yeah, battery's dead. Battery's just died. Yeah, that's why it's not so loud. It's on it. It's finished. The battery's finished. You've got a recharger. It's easy. And they've got a very wonderful thing too. And for India, you need this all the time. The light's going out. You've got a nice torch on it. Magnificent. You can put it there when you go down to take rest, and it plays all night, one lecture after the next. Really, really fantastic. Very simple, but worth getting. Thank you. And congratulations on having one, but just charge it, please. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so you can order from Hari Charan. There he is, Hari Charan. Commission. How much did you pay?
Actually, Guru Maharaj, one of the Guru Maharaj disciples, he gifted us.
Who did?
Bhakti Prem Maharaj gifted us.
Oh, he gifted one to you. That's very nice. Back to Maharaj disciple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're made in Mumbai by the boy named Madhava Bhakti Vikas Swami disciple does it, wholesaling it. And has worked so hard to make the lectures really good quality and put them all in order and put this wonderful book out that goes along with it, which gives you all the information you need to know what lecture you're listening to, etc., etc. It's really nice. Okay, I've done a pitch commission on all.
The sound quality is very nice.
That wasn't nearly as good as normal. The sound quality is normally much better than that. And that was because the battery was dead. It was just literally on its last threads. Otherwise it's much louder and much clearer normally. You've tried it already? Is it good?
Very good.
Very good. First class. Give it a go. It's really, if we want to stay in Krishna consciousness and associate with the pure devotee of the Lord, hearing from the right source, this is a great way to at least help us in that way. Take advantage of that, please. Hare Krishna. So, any questions? Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you for the nice lecture. Here it says, no one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. Actually, before that it says, no one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. Isn't it kind of a circular thing where to get purity of mind you need to read Srimad Bhagavatam, but it's saying you can't give full attention to it if you are not pure in mind. So it's kind of a circular.
Wow, I was praying. Question. My goodness, you've got me stumped. Okay, we're finished. Chant Hare Krishna. Shadi Radha Vidya Jal Jatendra. Take prasadam, okay? You'll become purified. Well, that's explained, isn't it, earlier in the second chapter, isn't it? How by serving those devotees who are freed of all vice, great service is done. one, what happens? By service one?
We'll develop the taste.
You speak English? What was that?
I said Sanskrit words.
Oh, I thought you were speaking English. Yeah. But say it in English so we know. We know what.
Develop a taste for the Vasudeva.
Yeah, you develop a taste for hearing the messages of Vasudeva, an affinity and attraction, by serving the pure devotee. It's by the mercy of Kṛṣṇa that we develop that affinity or that attraction for the holy name. So by serving the devotee, Kṛṣṇa cleanses our hearts, purifies. And how you serve is also, you just mentioned also, that you have to be pure in your actions. Eating, sleeping, fearing, mating, like that. We have to be pure in those actions. So the pure devotees, the whole Vedic society actually, the whole Vedic society is geared according to what position one's in to help purify your eating, sleeping, fearing and sex life. It's all aimed at that. It's not just jumping to the topmost rung. It's aimed at providing an environmental situation which is favourable to gradually become purified. A society of elevated persons fixed in goodness helps automatically to others to, the atmosphere itself, just like our atmosphere that we live in today is so surcharged with passion and ignorance. Totally surcharged, both gross and subtle. Subtly especially, we're not even aware of the subtle influences that are in the ether, which affect our minds all the time. And externally we may be aware, if we're a little bit in goodness we may be aware, if we're in passion and ignorance we're also not aware because we're just absorbed in it. Like a fish in water, doesn't even think that it's in water, it's just a normal situation. One who's not a fish thinks that that's an unnormal situation to be in water, but most people think it's completely normal by passion and ignorance. So there's no question of them being able to access this transcendental subject matter. However, just by seeing it, just by reading it without understanding, they still get some benefit, but they won't see Kṛṣṇa on the pages of Bhāgavatam. See, again, we're talking of perfection here, seeing Kṛṣṇa on the pages of Bhāgavatam. That's the perfection of service to Bhāgavatam. But to come to that, even if one doesn't see, because we're not pure in heart, but just to attend a class, just to serve a pure devotee, just to have a Bhāgavatam, even if you don't read it, you get some progress is made. There's still a tremendous amount of progress made, but we're not yet pure in heart that we can see Kṛṣṇa on the pages of the Bhāgavatam, even ourselves, So it takes a little time, but the process is, this is part of the process, some or another hearing. You may not hear with full attention, but any kind of hearing is like chanting japa. We're not fully usually, but there's still some benefit is there on still associating, even if it's not completely pure. There's a process of purification. We continue to hear and serve the devotees, and gradually the heart becomes pure and one can hear with rapt attention. Generally speaking, when we have an attraction for something, it doesn't matter what it is, in this world of life, but particularly in human life, if we have a strong attraction to something, and that something is being described, or that something is being shown, we tend to be very attentive, isn't it? Something that's dear to us. And if anyone starts talking about us, say for instance, they don't know you're in the next room, and just behind the door they're talking about you, and it's these modern walls, you can hear through the walls, so you can hear what they're saying. You're going to be very attentive. Or you see a picture of yourself or something, you're generally quite interested, right? Am I in the picture? Am I in there, Your kind of interest is there, isn't it? Huh? Or if it's, someone, especially someone talking, Did you hear about Dinabandhu? Did you hear about him? I mention his name, I don't know anyone else's names. So. I know a few others. Dinabandhu, did you hear what he did yesterday? And Dinabandhu is just behind the glass window, which is a one-way glass window. You don't know, he's just there listening. What, they're talking about me? Did you hear what he did yesterday? He got married. That's Monday, if you have. Wow, really? Who did he marry? And they go on, you know. Right? Interest is there now. Are they gossiping about me? Are they talking something nasty about me? Are they recognizing that I'm actually the best person in the universe? Are they talking properly? You know, what are they saying? You want to know, right? Because no one's dearer to us than ourselves, isn't it? You know, our family members are next, but number one is me. Then your family, and whatever else you're into. If you're into some subject matter, say you're into cars, some men are really car fanatics, and they, as soon as you start talking about cars, you can't stop talking about cars, right? Magazines, everything, cars, and cars. What a mentality, huh? Who was that scientist on the back of the English £10 note or something? There's one. James Watt. He said, "I can think of nothing else but the machine." That's a quote. It's a quote. On the back of the £10 note or £20 note. £50 note. See, it's a very valuable statement. £50 note. James Watt. "I can think of nothing else but the machine." Totally absorbed in the machine, whatever that is. You know, rapt attention. It's focused on that one object. So we're not focused. We're many different things. We become focused on Krishna, then, you know, nothing else. The pure devotees are like that. So when we associate with the pure devotee, through serving them, through hearing from them, even if we're not on that platform, you gradually become purified by their association. Otherwise it is a circle. It's mercy of a pure devotee that helps to break that circle, or release us from that trap, if you want to call it that. The association of a pure devotee who is not in a conditioned state of consciousness is the only way, is the key for getting out of this situation, this circular motion. Anything else?
Thank you, Maharaj, for the wonderful lecture, as always.
Full of wonder.
So when we hear such lectures or associate with devotees, then we feel secured and protected. But then when we are out there, in our jobs or in meeting others, then we get overwhelmed very easily.
Isn't it?
So how we can still become, as you said, why we become overwhelmed is because we are weak.
We're small.
So how we can
become strong. Taking shelter of the strong. So, and it happens to the best of devotees. Not necessarily, but sometimes it happens even to the best of devotees. They become overwhelmed. We read in the Bhāgavatam examples of great personalities who even appear to become overwhelmed in certain circumstances. Sometimes. And so how to become, we're strong enough not to become overwhelmed by circumstances around us sometimes. It may happen sometimes. We may have those occasional situations or regular situations. We may sometimes slip a little bit. That may happen in a neophyte stage for sure. But how to protect ourselves, that's the question. Or how to not be affected by the circumstances that we're in. Those circumstances may not just be at work, they could be at home also. They could be any time. They could be during your sleep. Could be any time. You could be faced with a challenge like that. So any suggestions how we can become a little stronger, Any suggestions? Most of you are working, I believe. Some of the ladies, I'm sure, are too. How to become a little stronger in those circumstances? Any suggestions?
Maharaj, think about Krishna.
Huh?
Think about Krishna.
Well, that's definitely what we should do. But sometimes we forget to think about Krishna because we're in a difficult situation. We get overwhelmed. That's basically the problem. We forget Krishna in our situations, whatever they are. That often happens. So how can we get, is there anything we can do other than just, plow on and hope for the best? Yes.
We can share our challenges with devotees who are
Okay, that's a nice thing. If you have Sangha, like you're having now, so that's what we're just asking, is you can share the challenges and hear from others how they face the same challenge maybe and how they found some nice way of dealing with it or whatever it is, tolerating whatever people think, I don't know. Anything else? Sangha, I suppose, discussing issues.
Chant before you leave home.
Pardon?
Chant before you leave home.
Okay, it's a nice one. They say in England, go to work on an egg. You have an advertisement, go to work on an egg. It means you eat an egg before you go to work, you'll be, give you whatever, energy, I don't know, whatever you get from an egg. So we go to work on, go to work on sadhana or whatever it is. Have good sadhana before you go to work, if you can. Of course, sometimes you have to leave home at 6 o'clock in the morning to get to work on time. You live in, I don't know where you live. Even here, it probably takes an hour and a half to get to work if you're working in New York, does it? And if you live down further in Princeton, so maybe it takes longer, I don't know. But it takes an hour, 2 hours to get to work, right? And before that, you probably have to have some prasadam. And maybe you've got to put the kids to school or something. And there's sometimes not so much time, but ideally, if you can have as much good sadhana, get up as early as you can, making sure you get enough sleep, of course, getting up as early as you can, and do as much chanting and hearing before rushing off to work or whatever, and going into the modes of passion and then ignorance. So we get a little bit, charge the batteries before you go out there. You get drained real easy otherwise. You really get drained easily by the material energy. So charging our batteries. What else can we do? I don't know.
Maharaj, associate with people at work only what's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Not more than what we have to work with them.
Mm-hmm. Associate. Try not to over-associate with sometimes mundane conversations or issues. Just minimize the need. Of course, you've got to be a little bit common sense to know where to draw the line. Otherwise, you may not have the problem much longer. You might not be there. Bottom devotees is your boss, I don't associate with people who are meat eaters. But, you've got a little common sense, Otherwise, you definitely won't have a problem there much longer. That's one way of going about it, I suppose. But I don't think that's quite what you were meaning when you said asked the question. But careful about your association. Now, when you're at work, I remember when I was working before I joined the temple. I wasn't working long, but I worked for a while. I'd always have a Bhagavad Gita, little one, with me, and it wasn't the same then those days. This is an abridged one. I always have it with me whenever I go to work, and every spare moment I'd open the Bhagavad Gita and look at the Bhagavad Gita and read a verse, whenever I could, Because again, when you're in the office, you may have to be a little careful, but a lot of devotees have it maybe on their mobiles now or something. It looks like you're busy doing something. You're right? You can even keep in touch with devotees sometimes. I'm having a real problem today, Prabhu, at work, Don't worry, I had the same problem last week. I'll tell you what you do, You go to the toilet, you just say, I've got to go to the toilet urgently. And you go to the toilet and you read a page of Bhagavad Gita or something. Come back now, back to health again. Or something or another, you know. You can use modern facilities to help you as well. What else can you do?
Sometimes in the office, while working also, I'm IT person, right? Sometimes I work, so I listen kirtan also. That relaxes me while doing my work.
You're listening to a kirtan at the same time? Not one earphones or something?
Earphones.
Oh, earphones. Okay. Not allowed. You know. I've seen those do that. They've gone into the office and they're loudly playing kirtan tape or something. It doesn't go down very well with the general office workers. So if you're in your ears, as long as you're not totally oblivious to everything else going on around you. But if you're doing IT, sometimes you can do that. You can have a nice kirtan playing, as long as it doesn't distract from your work. Otherwise, it destroys the purpose as well of working. Not that we want to do it, but if you're going to do it, you better do it. So that's another one. Depending on the situation, you may have your own office sometimes. It's a little easier. What else can you do? There's some nice suggestions. Something. Anything else?
Maharaj, I'm a physician actually. But
Are you?
they can, like Maharaj, the other Prabhuji said, like he will listen to 90, but I'm a physician. I have to see patients all the time.
Yeah, you can't listen to kirtan, otherwise you might be a disaster on the. Yeah. What do you do?
I remember, later on I remember, in the middle maybe I remember, but later on I'm continuously seeing.
Yeah, you've got to concentrate on what you're doing. So when you're concentrating on what you're doing, it's not exactly a deviation if that's your job. You're driving a car, you've got to concentrate on driving a car. It's not like, that's Maya. It's not. You're concentrating on what you're doing. But not more than necessary. What you do what you need to do. It's similar, tied up with association. You do what you need to do and not overdo it. If you're a physician, you have to be 100% focused on what you're doing, obviously. And if you're driving a car, you have to be 100% focused on what you're doing. If you're a sweeper, it's not quite such a problem. If any of you are cleaners or sweepers, even IT, to a certain extent, you've got to be 100% there, but even if you're not, it's not the end of the world, But when you're a physician or a driver, you've got to be 100% focused on what you're doing. It can be a disaster otherwise. Got to fix your mind. And to accompany that, there are other things you can do. Knowledge. Knowledge is not that we're just like robots, but we should be making some progress in understanding as well, in realizing that actually nothing is really separate from Krishna. Is it? Not really. The energy which you're working with, the people that you're working with, the ability which you're working with, the action of the modes of nature around you, the results of the work, the ingredients of the work, everything ultimately is a form of Krishna, it's energy of Krishna. So with a little knowledge we can also see like that, and you can see how, wow, isn't it amazing how strong the mode of ignorance, Krishna's energies are so strong. Look at the mode. It's so powerful here. And now look how the mode of passion has become stronger. It's not you spend all day kind of analyzing. Excuse me, can you do this job? Wow, it's amazing, sir, how the mode of passion is working on you right now. According to the Bhagavad Gita, if you continue in this mood of the mode of passion, very soon the mode of ignorance will become prominent. And what the hell is this guy talking about? Get out of here. But in your heart, you can sometimes try to control your, emotions like that, so you don't get, oh my God, this guy's driving me around the bend. I hate this. Sometimes that happens, somebody just gets on your nerves. But you see the mode of nature, they don't know, they're just being controlled by the modes of nature. How should arise above it a little bit. And of course there's a way of helping others in your environment to understand more than just the material perspective of life. That's a very wonderful thing. without, let's say, threatening your position, but sometimes you can even help others in your environment to come closer to Krishna. Sometimes a physician, you can also, I'm sure. Sometimes, I don't know about yours who are in a similar job, oftentimes the patients are really ripe for hearing spiritual knowledge, quite often. Because, life-threatening situations, what's going to happen, doctor? You can't promise anything when they're going into the... You work in the theatre?
I'm a pediatrician.
Outside of the theatre,
I
right?
take care of children.
Children, yeah. But if you're in the theatre, you can't promise you're going to come out of the theatre alive. You can't promise that. We do the best we can, that's all we can say. Oh, doctor, they can be quite, quite tense, Yeah, they can be very receptive. Sometimes you've got to be careful, but sometimes you can. And prasadam distribution sometimes is possible. Sometimes even book distribution is possible. There's certain circumstances. But seeing how you can Krishna, resign yourself to a maya for 8 hours, But Krishna is the situation if you can. Sometimes it's possible to do more than we're doing, that's for sure. Anything else? Pray. Pray, Krishna. Praying to Krishna, please protect me that I don't fall a victim to the material modes of nature. We always have to pray. Before you start your work, start with some prayers of some kind, prayerful. Remembering your spiritual master. Remembering why you're doing the work is another thing. Why are you doing it? What's the purpose of why you're working? What would be your answer? Why are you working? Why do you work? Some of you ladies are working too.
Care of the basic needs.
Get money so you can take care of the needs of your responsibility to your family. We have to work anyway, we have to do something. I mean, Krishna says everyone has to work according to their natures, but you have to work. So remembering that you've got this other side that you're working also because you want to offer some fruits to Krishna, right? We're not just here simply for material maintenance purposes. We want to do some service for Krishna. So we're thinking, maybe I can offer some of these fruits to Krishna also. Maybe you're learning something at work. Maybe I can use these skills in Krishna's service. Different things. Maybe you can look at it from that angle also. Any other angles?
Covered all the angles.
Excuse me?
We covered all the angles, Maharaj.
We covered a few lines. I don't know all lines, but there's no end of lines, but a few lines. Even if you can just do one of those things, it might help. It might help. Prayer is always a good one. Prayer is always a good one. It doesn't require any other circumstance. You can pray in any situation. You can't always do sadhana in every situation. You may not always be able to philosophize so easily, or expect those in the office to, become interested in Krishna consciousness, etc. Or have your friend on the line when you need to talk to someone. They may not be available. But you can always pray. Krishna's always there. Krishna's always with you. Don't forget that. Krishna, you're never alone. Krishna is with you in the office also. He's with you wherever we are. Pardon?
I forgot one line.
Tilak?
Yes.
You wear tilak to work?
Yes. Wipe out the top portion, but the bottom part is there.
You put the bottom part, not the top part.
Remove and put the water there.
You put water there and tilak there. Don't scare it. It's okay.
He's scared.
That is Haricharan Prabhu.
He's fine. Come, pussy.
He's scared.
Your friend is here.
Come on, boy. Where is he? He's okay. Don't worry. Come on, boy.
He wants to teach a lecture.
We are all Jiva Tattvas.
He's okay. Lady's got a bit scared there. Come on, puss. Come and say hello. Oh, poor thing. Poor thing. Come and say hello. Let me see him first. Haribo. What's his name? Narasimhadev. Narahari. Hey now, Harry. How you going? How you going, Harry? Harry. How you going, Harry? Good puss. Don't be afraid, he's only a pussy cat.
Feeding a lot of cookies.
Gita, are you afraid of pussy cats?
Yes.
Really? Usually they're afraid of mice. Pussy cats are usually the friend of the ladies because they chase the mice away. The big puss. What is that? That was interesting how he suddenly came in there. Another way to remember Krishna. Huh? Don't forget there's danger at every step when you're at work. You're remembering Krishna. Some verses are good, you know. We used to always have a few verses which we would, have on a card or something when you're in difficulty. Remember the verse. What to do. What to do when in difficulty. When a pussy cat suddenly appears, what do I do? Don't scream. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Chant. And when it works, sometimes there's difficulties. Just keep cool, keep calm. Keep calm, what they say, keep calm and carry on, is that what they say? All these slogans these days, isn't it? Keep calm and carry on. Keep calm and keep chanting, or whatever. Some cards, some reminder of Krishna somehow or another should be there. Into yourself to the illusory situation. Hare Krishna, okay, well it's 7:30. Guess it's time for prasadam. Or kirtan. I got a little water to wash my hands. I shook hands with Narahari. Oh, we have some prasadam here too. A little bowl, or achaman or something just to rinse my fingers. We have some prasadam also. Where are the books? Put the books out. Is anyone coming for the first time? Anyone here for the first time to a program? First time, welcome, thank you. Anyone here for the last time? First and last get special privileges. You have a table somewhere? Maybe you can clear this table, Ishan. You can put the books here maybe. Huh? We can put them on this table. We're just clearing the table. I think we are anyway. We have some, for those who are coming first time, we have some books. Those maybe some of you don't have. There is one book. Give me the Essence book. This is a book you may not have seen before. It's called I can only hold it one hand because the left hand needs to be washed. In Essence. You may not have seen it before. It's a new book just published in Europe in English. It's particularly lots of simple, the kind of questions that a lot of people ask, and particularly Indian people, and Prabhupada's answers to those questions, not direct, but taking Prabhupada's words and giving an answer using Prabhupada's words. It's nice, in Essence. I've got quite a few copies if anyone's interested. Yeah, here we go. Thank you very much. Right. He looks like he's doing very well now, Harry. He's well fed, huh? He looks in good health. He got a bit scared though there, I was not surprised. Gita scared him out of his wits. You got quite scary there. The poor cat was terrified of you, Gita. You got completely scared. Wow. If you ever see a lion, the lion will run for its life, you know? I came across a terrifying to death. Yeah, we'll put the books on this table here. These books on that table. And there's also that Nishringa oil there somewhere. I got it last night. I'm sure you've never seen this oil before. This is special Nishinga oil. I'm sure you've probably all got 10 bottles yourselves. Anyway, it's just Lord Kṛṣṇa. That's a beauty. Mayapur Dham, Shri Nrsimhadev Mahaprasad Abhishek oil. You know they bathe the deities in, just pour the oil on top of the deity and it comes down. Pure oil. And they gather it underneath. Mahaprasad Abhishek oil. Full oil massage. Can you imagine? Yeah, so there's a few books. You may not have seen them. I got to take that. Oh, that. One of them. Hey, Subal Prabhu.
Subal Prabhu.
This devotee last night, you've got to give him this book. You take it now, otherwise it will be gone. And where is he? Remember that devotee last night at Singeshwar's house? I said you would give him the book. Oh my God. You give it to Singeshwar then, okay? Don't give it to anyone else, just give it to Singeshwar.
Yes.
Hare. Hey, we have prasad somewhere. Can we put this somewhere? Here comes the prasad. Hare. Garlands. Great. So if everyone would like to take a little prasad, we have some prasadam here. Take me a couple of minutes to prepare it. Is there enough for one cookie each? Who prepared the cookies? I don't think so.
Who prepared the cookies? Who prepared the cookies? Maharaj is asking. How many are there? There are more, Maharaj. So one for each will come?
You have more?
Just hold on, there's another box somewhere.
You have more cookies?
Open it. We're going to have to break this and mix it, you see. It was a messy job. Just give us a few seconds here. One cookie each is okay?
Yes.
There's enough for one each? Okay, there's enough. Keep them somewhere near. So this Mahaprasadam here is is a mixture between France and Vrindavan. There's not really much difference between France and Vrindavan, huh? Some devotees in New Mayapur. It's Prasadam, but it's not the normal Maha from the deity, it's Prasad from the deity. And some of it's from Kusum Sarovar, some from the Radharaman temple, some from the Radha Damodar temple, excuse me, some from the Krishna Balaram temple. Bhajan? Go for it.
Maharaj is saying something.
Huh? Sing something. Oh, you sing something. You sing. He's here all the time. You only come once a year.
Yeah.
Sing something. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I'm just mixing it up so you get a bit of this and a bit of that. Hare Krishna.
Take out the mic, Maharaj.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
You're going on third year? You're in third year? Wow, time flies, right? So, then one more year, right? Yeah. You're planning for a master?
Just gonna
You got it? That's what you can get. Okay, thank you.
I'm looking
How do you apply? To some bank?
Yeah, you can just do it online. Just do something. Here's page. There's different.
They come for interview.
Sometimes you get interviews, sometimes they don't really respond. You have to email them back. Some just don't respond even after that. Some actually tell you that they're voted a little better. Yeah. So I've only got ever applied to maybe like 50, like 30. I've only got like 6 or 7 responses.
You're taking prasad.